What's up, tribe? Here we go. We are here for the season finale of Raising Kanan. Oh, Lord. My internet is jacked up. Hold on. Looks like I have a delay. Hold on, y'all. Okay. Looks like the yeah. What's up, Lexi? Hey, boo. Girl, you always on the go. You always on the go. If it's distracting, let me know, you guys. I don't know what y'all see on y'all's end, but on my end, it looks really delayed and choppy. So if it's distracting, let me know. I don't know what's going on. I literally just got home about an hour and a half ago, maybe about an hour and a half ago. So anyway, but y'all know I've been avoiding spoilers all weekend, so I wanted to get in here, watch Raising Kanan, and talk to y'all about it. Okay, it looks good on your end. Okay, fine. If it's good on you guys' end, then I'll keep moving. But on my end, it just looks real choppy. But anyway, we're here now. So the season finale. So Jay, Lock Queen said the finale was awful and all over the place. I had some pros and cons. I definitely have some pros and cons. Some stuff I feel like didn't make sense. Some stuff I feel like they could have addressed better. And some things, but some things I liked. So we're going to get into it. First of all, let me just say this. We finally meet Breeze, and guess what? We all got it wrong. Every single person who reviews Power got it wrong. Nobody saw Pops and Snaps being this intricate of a part of the storyline that is Power. And anybody that says it now, I'm gonna call you a liar, because we've been talking about this for 3-4 years, and every time there's a new character, that's Breeze. Maybe that's Breeze. And I'm guilty. I did it too. I think I was convinced Unique was Breeze. I was really convinced that it was Unique. But everybody has had a theory. So kudos to the writers for that, because none of us got it right, which means that the writers did a really good job of giving it to us, right? So we do get to meet Breeze. Which I think would be interesting. We know that they announced that next season will be the last season of Raising Kanan. So y'all know that they're doing Origins. So I'm sure that next season is going to take us right into Origins. So expect Breeze to play a bigger part in next season and all of those things. Can I say this? I'm gonna say this before I forget to say it. Marvin was supposed to die. Marvin was supposed to die, and I'm gonna get to a couple of reasons why Marvin was supposed to die. One, because they're just not doing anything with his character at this point. All his character does is screw up. The whole thing with Stefano, he wasn't supposed to be able to walk into Stefano's shop and have a conversation with him at that point. He was supposed to be gone, right? Then that whole speech that Jukebox gave when she said her only reason for being in New York at this point is to take care of her father. Now, maybe that'll happen next season, but I really feel like that would have been, storyline wise, I think that would have been a great way to end this season. When they ambushed Marvin was supposed to get shot. But we'll get to that. I'm all over the place, but let me start at the beginning and work my way back. So we start this episode off with Jukebox telling Kanan about Crystal. Kanan doing, he tears the place up. He's upset. And of course, now he's convinced that it was Rock. And Jukebox is trying to convince him it was not Rock. Rock didn't have anything to do with it. But he's convinced that it's Rock. And at the end of the day, once somebody makes up their mind about something, there's really nothing you can do. Like, once somebody makes up their mind that somebody did something, like, you can have all the logic in the world and it doesn't matter. So Kanan has convinced himself that Rock took out Crystal and that Rock took out Famous. And there's really nothing that's going to happen that's going to change his mind. So while this is going on, Rock is having a conversation with Unique, which is where we left off last week. And basically the conversation was, listen, we at war. Like, there's no reconciliation. There's no let's work together. And, Rock was like, listen, family, stay out of this. What we got is between me and you. Now, Rock, I'm going to be honest. I'm with Unique on this one. Kanan is all up in the business. Kanan is not no innocent. He goes to school every day. He's a straight A student. He doesn't have anything to do with the business. Kanan is neck deep in this shit. So for you to go to Unique and be like, keep the families out of this. My son coming to you. You don't deal with my son. Come on, Rock. Your son got his own business that he running. Like, at this point, he doesn't even work for you. He just get his supply from you. So I'm like, you kind of out of place with that one, Rock. You was a little out of place thinking that they owed you that. Especially considering y'all relationship. Like, Unique didn't owe you that. Then Unique, again, I think Unique brought up something that Rock, and I get it, it's a mother's love that maybe Rock really just can't see past where her and Kanan's relationship is at this point. But when Unique was like, you here pleading your son's case to me about protecting your son, and your son is coming to me trying to get protection from you. And honestly, I get it. Her ego and all of that is involved. But I think you need to hear what this man is telling you. Like, Kanan is making moves. Like, he's been making moves without you. The only reason why he's even in bed with you right now is because he got in over his head with Ronnie. That's really it. Because if Ronnie hadn't been as, unstable as he was, and he wouldn't even be dealing with you at all. So again, I get it. That's your child, and maybe you don't want to accept the fact that your relationship is at the place where it is, and it's as bad as it is. But the reality of this situation is, Rock, you really need to start looking at Kanan as another op on the street. Like, you need to put Kanan in the same category that you got Unique and all these other people on the street, because honestly, that is who he is at this point. And you really need to stop putting yourself on the line, trying to look out for him, defend him, whatever. But anyway, as a result of that meeting, Rock basically threatened Unique's family, and Unique was like, whoa, so like, you threatening my family now? That's what we doing? And once that happened, of course, Lou is back in the fold. You know what I'm saying? So she tells Lou, listen, find out where Panessa is and her and what's going on with his family, because we about to make some moves. Now, so then we see Marvin go and talk to Stefano. And like I told you guys, this conversation should have never even happened. Marvin should have already had them concrete boots on and been at the bottom of the lake, especially since Stefano don't even want to do business with them anymore, which means that he's not interested in preserving a relationship with Rock. So I don't even understand why Marvin was still breathing. And I damn sure don't understand why Marvin was able to walk into that shop and have a conversation with Stefano. Like, to me, again, that doesn't play in line with what we know or what our understanding of the mob is, right? You were betrayed, and he done gave you warnings. He gave you several warnings. And then for you to be like, oh, Early can't be trusted. He was like, whoa, wait a minute. Well, when you brought Early to me and told me to let him take over my business, he was the best thing since sliced bread. Now all of a sudden, don't trust him. So he wasn't even supposed to walk out of there, like, for real, for real. So that was the first thing in this episode that sort of made me side-eye, because I was like, you ain't even supposed to be walking out of here. Well, that was the second thing. Rock going to Unique to defend, to try to protect Kanan really had me side-eyeing. So then Stefano says, look, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with your sister. No more trucks, no more nothing. Like, our business here is done. It's a wrap. It's over. Severed ties. Boom. Now, Marvin is steadily begging on his way out the door, which I thought, again, Marvin, you ain't even still supposed to be here, so whatever. So then we see Lou following Unique's people around so he can find Panessa and the mama and all that's going on with that. And he does. He gets the information he needs, He gets the intel. Then we see Kanan at the cemetery saying goodbye to his grandmother because he was like, I'm sorry I didn't come around in them last couple of weeks. I just couldn't see you in that kind of pain. I just couldn't see you like that. I ain't know what to say. And then he was like, I know you told me I gotta respect my mom and everything, but I can't do that, and I don't know what I'm gonna do. But what I do know is that I'm gonna need your forgiveness. So I said, well, at that point, I was like, well, he pretty much done made up his mind. He want to go after Rock. He just trying to get up enough chutzpah to do it. He know he want at this point. He know he want to take Rock out. Like that's it. That's all. He wants to take Rock out. What up, JB? I dipped my head into your Beyond the Gates a few minutes ago, but I didn't stay because I was getting ready for this. But I gotta watch Friday's episode. I watched up to Thursday. I gotta watch Friday. Now, while this is going on, the Chinese guy, I forget his name, child. He done told Rock he done with her too. And again, I love how he was 2 steps ahead of Rock, right? I love how he was 2 steps ahead of Rock. And Rock was like, didn't I tell you that we in bed together and it's to the end? It's to the end. He was like, look, I'm old. I don't really care what you do to me. So Rock was like, well, what about your family? He was like, oh, my family, everybody back in China. Like, they're not here. So you don't have anybody that you can hold over my head. You don't have anybody that you can threaten me with. And if you want to kill me, I've already made peace with that. I've already made peace that I may not walk out of this conversation. So do as they say, do your big one. Do what you feel like you need to do. Rock don't know where to go from there because you've taken away all of her ammunition. You have taken away all of her ammunition. She don't have nowhere to go from there, right? I love how they had that sign in the door, though, that said no special sauce. Baby, no special sauce over here. So Rock is losing everything. She's losing her transportation and her, whatever her distribution, the deal she had with Stefano. She's losing the way that she can sell it in bulk. Going through the businesses. She's losing all of that in one day or in a series of days. And she got all this weight to move. Right, Lock Queen, ain't nobody scared no more. Right. Kanan approaches Crystal mama's boyfriend. Who cares? He basically threatens him. Then we see Detective Garcia meeting up with Jukebox again. I love how Jukebox be asking people for a favor and then tell them to kiss her ass the next day. Like, ma'am, you went to this man and you asked him to do you a favor, and he told you owed him one after he did that favor for you. And she really is just giving this man her ass to kiss. But what he does do is he says, look, I want to talk to you about Crystal. Like, you come to me and ask me about her, and then she come up dead. And she was like, look, I sung in a group with her. I don't really know her like that. And he was like, come on now. You got to give me more than that. But he messed around and told her. And again, going back to what Lockwood said, here's another thing. I'll put this on my list. This is number 3. This is number 3 on the list of things that made me side-eye this finale. Detective Garcia says, well, they saw a black woman leaving out of the building, and you fit the description. First of all, I'm pretty sure that when they said a black woman, I'm pretty sure that woman could tell the difference between a 17-year-old black woman or 19, however old Juke is, 19, 20-year-old black woman and a 40-year-old black woman. That's number 1. Number 2, Rock, Pop, nor Juke have the same build. And I understand that they might not have got that deep. I might not understand it, but I'm sure they got deep enough to get age. Maybe even hairstyle. Like, they have 3 different hairstyles. Pop wears that bob. Rock got the long coof. And Juke hair be braided. So I am pretty certain that there's a combination. But okay, fine. Nobody got that deep. But in my mind, I was like, just saying a black woman, to me, that's bullshit. Like, I really feel like that somebody should have went deeper. But okay, neither here nor there. And Jukebox already told Kanan, and this is where, again, Y'all build up this character to be so smart, but then when I need her to be smart, y'all ain't give it to me. She already told Kanan that she not holding on to what Pops and Snaps is saying, right? She was like, I don't believe everything that's coming out their mouth either. Like, you shouldn't believe like I'm side-eyeing them too. So if you were side-eyeing them and you know that this is where Kanan is getting some of his information from, why wouldn't you ask Detective Garcia, what did she look like? What was the description? Because let's be clear, we know that Detective Garcia don't think it's you, Jude. He's just trying to rattle you. He knows it's not you. So the question is, who is it? I think 2 questions from Jukebox would have cleared up whether it was Rock or Pop. But okay then, whatever. So then, but of course, that's what Jukebox walked away with, you know. So then we see Kanan meeting up with Pops and Snap, and he's asking them about Crystal, and they don't care about Crystal. They're trying to find out, basically, did he approach Rock about what happened with Famous? And he was like, I don't care about Famous. I don't care about none of that. I care about what happened to Crystal. So of course now they're like, damn, you know, we got this. He focused on the wrong thing. Like, we trying to get him to go left, and he going right. You know what I'm saying? Right, JB. That's all they had to do was ask. Well, can you give me more information? But this is when they also say, hey, we want you to meet our nephew. You know, he's been moving and shaking over in the other part of New York. Now he's relocated to, you know, Jamaica. We want to link y'all together. Now, again, make this number 4 on my list of things that I'm side-eyeing from this finale. Now, as much as y'all joke with me about having this unique understanding of the drug trade, maybe this is a part of the drug trade I don't understand. Or maybe this is a part about living in New York that I don't understand. You mean to tell me all this time, Rock been looking for work and people been looking for work and the work is dried up and Rock to the point where Rock was making moves in New Jersey and other parts. You mean to tell me this man name never came up? Breeze, who was moving and shaking in another part of New York. Like, they didn't say he was relocating from another state. Had they said he was relocating from Chicago, relocating from Detroit, okay. Relocating from another part of New York? And his name not even in the wind? Nobody's even heard of this man? But he's a mover and shaker. Now, again, I know y'all give me a lot of credit for understanding the drug trade more than I deserve. Okay. But that one, y'all gonna have to break that one down for me. Maybe my New Yorkers are gonna have to explain that to me. Put it in the comments, because maybe I grew up here in DC and we knew who was moving and shaking in Baltimore, which is a 40-minute ride down the road. We knew who was moving and shaking in Baltimore. So I'm not understanding how people in the same city ain't know who was okay. Put it in the comments. Explain it to me. Moving right along. Then we see Unique meeting up with Sal's wife again, basically trying to circumvent Russo and get permission to go after Rock. Is basically what this whole conversation was. And she's basically letting him know that, you know, I've talked to other people and Russo is weak. And you should be able to protect your family. You should be able to do what it is that you need to do. And I'm going to talk to the people that need to be talked to. I'm going to talk to the people that need to be talked to. Then we see Early is hiding out in a little 2-bit hotel. And part of me is thinking, you should have thought about that before you double-crossed Marvin. Like, I get it, you was mad. And I get it that you felt some kind of way. But you should have handled that. Like, you should have thought about all of this before you decided to double-cross the Thomas family. Like, you had to know that retribution was coming. Like, you had to know that. But then I'm side-eyeing Marvin, and I'm like, Marvin, this is what you should have done the minute you found out Early had something to do with the dude coming up missing. And maybe that might have spared you if you had took care of it and took it to Stefano and said, listen, you know, he got out of line. I made a mistake, but I took care of it. Like, you waited until after the whole thing blew up, and now you want to go take care of Early? The minute you realize what Early did is when you should have took Early ass out. But okay then. But anyway, early gone. So then we see Jukebox meeting up with Rock. And let me be honest with you. I didn't like no parts of this conversation. I did not like no parts of this conversation because from what the writers have showed us, and listen, I can't go back through the whole history of what happened before we started watching this show, before the show started. I can only go back to what they have shown us. And what they have shown us is Jukebox and Rock always having a special connection and a special relationship. From what they have shown us, she always made time. Going back to season 1, when they would have girls' night out, when they would do girl stuff, when Rock would buy her, special girl things, I felt like to the best of her ability, Rock always made time for Jukebox. And for her to say, you never saw me, you only saw me if I was sitting next to Kanan. And I was like, and then I can't tell her that's not how she felt, but that's not what they showed us. They didn't show us that. For the last 4 seasons, they have shown us that Rock has a special place in her heart for Jukebox. Now, I could be wrong. Now, that doesn't erase the fact that Rock is who Rock is, but girl, she saw you when your daddy beat you up. Right. And you lived with her when your daddy beat you up. And when your mama came back and was on that bullshit. When Rock was the only one that Rock knew you were gay before your father knew. I don't think before Kanan knew, because I think Kanan probably knew before everybody. I don't know. But we can go back through the history of this show and we can find special moments between the two of them. Hell, you were the person Rock called when she needed somebody to pick her up after she had an abortion. Like, I mean, you said Jukebox called Rock out for her bullshit. And I honestly think that Rock was hurt that Jukebox would even think that she could have done with taking out Famous. I think everybody is and we're going to get to that in a minute, but I love how Lou reminded Kanan, you keep putting this on your mama. I did it. And I didn't have to do it, but I did it. Now, the other thing I wish now Rock did it last week, but I wish Lou had done it and said, and we were cleaning up your mess. Like, I think people are real convenient to forget that D-Wiz situation Kanan created. Now, was there a different way they could have handled it? Maybe. In hindsight, like Lou said, I might have been able to handle this differently. But it doesn't change the fact that we were cleaning up your mess, because it was basically either him or you. And I don't know why Kanan can't wrap his brain around the fact that number one, I did it. I created the situation. And number 2, my mother basically was saving my life. Anyway, but I think Rock was hurt when the fact that Jukebox wouldn't even say, no, I don't think you could have done it, but that's what Kanan believes, and you better give him something better than what you've given me. Because my thing is, once somebody tells you they didn't do something and you don't believe them, I don't know what else you want them to say. Like when Rock said, I didn't do it. I had no reason to kill Famous, and I didn't even know Crystal. I didn't have no beef with Crystal one way or the other. And I didn't. She was like, I told y'all, why would I tell y'all she came to my house? Well, you were the last one to see her alive. Okay, that's great. I was the last one to see her alive. But to be honest with you, a little detective work would clear a lot of this up, because the police literally took that girl off the bus. Y'all know she was going to Delaware. Go back to the bus driver who was driving that bus that day. I bet you he'll tell you what happened. Even if you got to put a little pressure on him. Even if you got to put a little pressure. The bus was full of people. Anyway, so then basically Rock tells Jukebox, she was like, hold up, let me tell you something. Be careful the road that you're going down, because you're not a child anymore. So at this point, you do something that you can't take back. I need you to understand. I'm gonna treat you like the adult that you are. So I don't appreciate you accusing me of what you're accusing me of. I don't appreciate how you coming at me right now. And please understand, this ain't going. We're not going in the right direction. Both of us need to stop and put this car in reverse. But the conversation ended very ugly and very tense between her and Jukebox. And she even told Jukebox, you acting just like your daddy. And she was like, well, I'd rather be like him than like you. And I know that just tore through Rock. I know that did. I mean, Rock don't put a whole lot of emotion out there, but just told. I'm glad Marvin wasn't eating when Stefano expressed desire for Rock. Then we have Russo and Stefano meeting up. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. At the beginning of this conversation, I really thought they was gonna go somewhere with this, right? They both basically said they let it be known that they were there by themselves. They didn't tell their people that they were there, because Stefano was like, if my people knew I was meeting with you right now, they string me up. And Russo was like, yeah, the same with me. He was like, I didn't realize, that making that move on Sal was really, like they love Sal. Like they not responding the way I thought they was gonna respond to Sal being gone. And Stefano was like, yeah, well, I mean, I put it on the line to help you get that position. Like I helped you get that seat at the table. And then they were like, yeah, our problem is that basically we went into business with the black folk, and that was really the downfall. So I thought that's where the conversation was going. I thought the conversation was going in the direction of, we need to disassociate ourselves from both Unique and from Rock. You see, I thought that's where they was going, but that's not where they went. The conversation went downhill very quickly, and then it got to the point where they was in each other's face and they were accusing each other, and I was like, damn, they about to go to war. Next thing you know, Russo stabs Stefano. Now, here's the part. I knew when Stefano walked away, when Russo walked away, I knew Stefano wasn't dead. I knew he wasn't dead. The way he walked away and the way Stefano was still sitting on that bench, I said, you done gave this man enough time to call 911. It's funny that part where Russo stabbed Stefano is in a rich, quiet Queens neighborhood, but bodies wash up there all the time. Yeah. So we found out later on that Stefano did not die. Now, the good thing about him not dying is, because I said if he does die, they're going to assume that it was Marvin. Even though Marvin's choice of weapon is not a knife, but I was like, they're going to assume it was Marvin. But the fact that he's still alive makes me feel like maybe he'll be able to at least tell somebody that it wasn't Marvin and that who it was, and that might start a whole other war. That's one of those storylines that's a cliffhanger going into next season. Nothing was resolved. Like, we left off this episode just knowing that Stefano didn't die. That's it. His fish shop is gone, but he didn't die. So then we have the showdown between Lou and Kanan. And Lou basically gave it to Kanan. Lou basically told him, listen, at the end of the day, your mother is still your mother. And you out here making moves with Unique, that's not a good look. That's not good. And he was like, well, I don't, after everything she's done, I don't mess with her anymore. And I thought you didn't. He was like, oh no, because he was like, if Unique come after her, he coming after the whole family, And he was like, I ain't standing next to her, so I don't care no more. He was like, up until now, I didn't think you were standing next to her, so I didn't think it was going to affect you. Which, okay, that's a valid argument, Kanan, to be like, I didn't think it was going to affect you because I didn't think you was a part of this. All right, okay, I could see that. Then they were talking about her, killing Crystal and killing Famous. And of course, he was like, who told you that? Don't worry about who told me. No, because had you told him where it came from, he might have been able to let you know you was being played. Because they already know Snaps and Pops for their work, which is why Rock wasn't fucking with them. Rock already know what it is with them. She done already tangled with them when it came to DEF CON. She done already tangled with them. So they'd have been able to tell you being played. But nah, you ain't want to tell nobody who told you. So now you sitting here really convinced that your mama took out your best friend. And Lou was like, he didn't. So that's when Lou had to knock him over the head and remind him about the whole D-Wiz thing and was like, that was me. And me and you already had that conversation. That's on me. I didn't have to do it. I could have made another decision and maybe me and Rock would have came to another resolution to the problem, but we didn't and I didn't. So if you're going to have a problem with it, then you got a problem with me, not with your mother. Of course, again, like I said at the beginning, once somebody makes up their mind about something, it's really nothing you could tell them. Once somebody makes up their mind that you did something to them or that you wronged them or that there's no change in your mind. So once at this point, Kanan is just convinced. There's really nobody that can tell him that it didn't happen. Like Famous and Crystal could come to him in a dream and he still would be like, I'm tripping. Nah, they did it. No, because he wants to hate Rock that badly. And when we get to the end, I was so confused because I don't understand what Kanan really feels like Rock did to him that was so bad. I mean, the one thing he did, okay, I'm gonna give you that. I'm gonna give you the he tried to get you to kill your daddy. I'm gonna give you that one. But I still don't understand the rest of what you have convinced in your mind that Rock did to you that was so terrible. But okay, maybe I need to go back and watch the old episodes and refresh my memory because I just don't get it. Lulu was telling you know what, DeMarcus, and now that part I didn't get. You already know Kanan is on the borderline, like Kanan is already on the edge. I didn't understand Lou telling Kanan that Rock was the one that took care of their grandmother. You had to know that that Kanan wasn't going to receive that in the way the way in which you were giving it to him. Like you had to understand that Kanan wasn't thinking the way you wanted him to think. He wasn't thinking, oh wow, she took my grandmother out of her misery. So I didn't understand why Lou told Kanan that. Because I do think I agree with you, DeMarcus. I do think that was the last straw. You know what I mean? The problem I have with Kanan, he knows that Snaps and Pop have NYPD connects, but not looking at them. I don't understand why he's not looking at them. Like, I understand why he may not on the surface be looking at them, but I honestly, and maybe this is maybe I need to go back and look at the old seasons. Maybe it's too much space in between the seasons and I forget stuff, but I do not understand how we got here. Like, I don't understand. Like I said, I understand the D-Wiz thing. That was cold-blooded. I understand Rock tried to get you to kill your daddy. That was cold-blooded. But what I also understand is you created both of those situations. But moving, and I also understand that your mother begged you not to go into the business. Your mother did everything in her power to keep you from going into the business. Does Kanan even know about Scrappy? I don't know if Kanan even knows about Scrappy. He's not heard about her killing Howard. He could care less about her killing Howard. I don't think he cares about her killing Howard. I think because remember, he was already up at that. Because I don't think he cared about the house. But I could be wrong. But I don't think he cared about her killing Howard. I don't. I think when she tried to get him to kill Howard and he didn't know who Howard was, that hurt him, which is understandable. That's your daddy. Like, that's understandable. I think Kane is envious of Rock's influence and wants her out the way to attempt to take over her influence. As long as she's around, he's considered Rock's son. I think that's part of it. But again, I just feel like I don't understand why he can't understand how he created a lot of the situations and she was just cleaning them up. That's the part I can't wrap my brain around. Like, I can't wrap my brain around the fact that you don't understand that thank you, Lauren, that she was really cleaning up your fucking mess. Rock lied to Kanan about Scrappy committing suicide. Oh, yeah, that's true. He did. But again, I don't know. I just don't feel like... Again, I don't know. I just feel like by the time Scrappy came around, they were already like, that wasn't the straw that broke the back. Like, Kanan already wasn't fucking with Rock when the whole Scrappy thing happened. Remember? Like, Kanan already wasn't fucking with Rock. You know? So I don't know. But it is what it is. He definitely thinks he's the smartest person in the room, and he's not. He's dumb as hell. So then we have Rock and Marvin having their argument. And this is another reason why I felt like it was time. This is another reason why I really thought Marvin was gone, right? They had this to the death argument. And she basically, I mean, this is the first time they've argued. And honestly, she ain't say nothing she ain't said to him before. But I think the combination with the fact that Marvin knows, Marvin knows how bad he fucked up. You know, so I think you add the fact that Marvin knows how bad he screwed up with Rock throwing it in his face. It was a really bad argument. It was a really, really, really bad argument. No, Kanan's dumb. Sorry. I know you said that you don't think he's dumb. He's just not even gullible. No, Kanan's dumb. I used to think Kanan was smart, but I don't anymore. I do not think Kanan's smart anymore. Because again, like, for example, something little like Crystal had to be the one to tell you that maybe you shouldn't eat where you sleep. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't eat where you lay. Like, you shouldn't be dealing drugs out of the very same apartment where you're literally sleeping every night. Crystal had to be the one to tell you that. You didn't think with the money you were making, even if you got an apartment in another apartment in the same building, Crystal had to be the one to tell you that wasn't a good idea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that. I think Kanan has been able to pick up what he has learned by being around the drug game his whole life, but I don't think he's that smart. But, you know, Devin says, the end pissed me off. Famous and Crystal getting killed by Rock doesn't even make sense to me. Exactly. It doesn't even make sense. I think that, like I said, so that's another reason why I thought Marvin was gone. I definitely thought Marvin was not making it out of this season. I told y'all that last week. I did not think Marvin was making it out. And this was another final. And then that scene, that nothing throwaway scene where we saw the little white girl get a new family that looked like it was in a nice neighborhood. I really, truly thought this was the end of Marvin. I was like, okay, they giving us the end of Marvin. But they didn't. So anyway. Okay, itty bitty. Thank you, boo. Rock treated Marvin like Joyce treated Marvin. Rock treated Marvin like Joyce treated Rock. Rock treated Marvin like Joyce treated Rock. Then we see Jukebox and Aisha. Well, we see them go down to Butter, and go down to the record label, and the manager's telling them, you know, she sorry to hear about Crystal and how she really loves them and she still believes in them. I think she was kind of buttering them up to see if maybe she could try to get them to do music again. But Jukebox is Jukebox. You know, again, we're seeing the transformation of Jukebox, right? And again, if Jukebox really truly believes that Rock killed Crystal, I think that's taking us another step to where we are. Not Pebbles wasn't fooling me. But I'm gonna be honest, this conversation was another reason why I was convinced that Marvin was about to get killed. Because if Marvin had, after she made this long speech about how much her daddy did for her and how much, you know, he changed to accept her and how much she loved him and that she was there to take care of him because nobody else was going to do it. And that's why she had to be in New York, and New York was the place for her. And she was basically giving up everything to be there to take care of her father. And then her father gets killed, especially with her and Juke are right now and their situation right now, I really thought that was the final part of the transformation of the jukebox we met in Power, right? Like once her father was killed, like that was it. She didn't have no. She had no other nothing. You know what I'm saying? So, um, so there's that. What up, Nikki? Then we have the scene. Is it me? Rock told Kanan not to deal drugs where he slept. Also, Rock told Kanan how to cook. That's what I'm saying. Kanan isn't that bright. Kanan has been able to learn. He's a great learner. I don't think he's a great critical thinker on his own, but he's definitely a great learner. And again, that goes, DeMarcus, that goes back to what I was saying. She did not want this life for you. You begged her for it to the point where she was like, all right, well, if you're going to be out there doing it, then you're going to do it right. So she taught him how to cook the product. She taught him how to do all the, like, she was like, if you're going to do it, you're going to do it right. And he still fucked it up. That's what I'm saying. Like, you thought you were smarter than Rock. She gave you the recipe. You fucked up the recipe and killed all them people. Y'all remember that when all them people OD'd? I think that was season 2. So, like, you're not that bright to me. But okay. But that was pretty much what happened with that. So here we go. Pops and snaps. Is it me? Or is it because we have been waiting so long to find out who Breeze was that this scene was anticlimactic and awkward? Like, it was weird. Like, why are y'all meeting on this busy ass street corner? Like, y'all having this whole conversation in the middle of this New York street with people just everywhere, and you're introducing Kanan to Breeze, and it was just awkward. That and all of these are good actors. Well, I don't know about Breeze. I don't know him yet, but we know Pops and Snaps and Kanan. They're good actors, but it was the dialogue was real clumsy for me. The dialogue was just clumsy for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Is it me? It just felt awkward. And I'm not even saying it maybe, like I said, maybe it was just anticlimactic. Maybe because we were just waiting so long for this that it just didn't. I don't know. But we finally meet Breeze, child. DeMarcus say he looked like Cole Brown, child. But we finally meet Breeze. And again, I don't understand how we didn't know who this man was. If he was in New York all this time making all these moves, I don't understand how we didn't know him. But I guess it goes back to, remember during the original Power, the different people didn't know each other. Like, we've had that conversation before with the original Power and even with Power Book 2, how the Tejadas didn't know, you know. But in that case, at least we could say, well, Ghost was a ghost. He wasn't supposed, people were supposed to be able to make the connection, right? He was a ghost. That was his name. Whereas Breeze is driving a red Ferrari in the middle of the day, and you know what I mean, or Porsche, or whatever the hell it was he was driving. It was a rush scene. It seemed like they added to. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It definitely. Lock Queen. You know what? Maybe that's what it was. Maybe that was a scene that they added. Maybe they said we tired of y'all keep asking us where the hell Breeze is. So fuck it, let's give y'all Breeze. I don't know, but the scene was weird. It was awkward. It was clumsy. The writing, because even Pops was like, well, you know, this wasn't meant to be no formal, you know, we just wanted to introduce y'all. This wasn't meant to be no meet and greet. Like, they said that like 3 times. And it was just like, why do y'all keep saying that? I don't know. Breeze will teach Kanan how to play chess. I don't know. Him driving that bright red ass Porsche in the middle of the street didn't make me think he playing chess, but okay. But we'll see. We'll see next season. So, of course, that's a storyline that's going to carry over into next season, which, of course, is going to take us into Origins. I guess we'll meet Tommy and Ghost probably towards the end of next season. Maybe episode 9 or 10 of the final season. We'll meet Tommy and Ghost. So then we see Marvin talking to the jukebox. He lets her know It could have been brought up after them announcing origins. Maybe JB. We find out that Marvin, heard her with her company. Her and Aisha was, doing what her and Aisha was doing, honey. And he let her know, look, you grown. This your house too. I don't care. I ain't tripping. So then they talk about, she lets him know that I talked to Rock and it, didn't go so well. And she tells him suspicions about Rock having something to do with Crystal and with Famous. And he was like, listen, I can tell you for a fact, like, I would know if she took care of Famous. She didn't. Like, I can tell you for a fact. And again, this is when I knew that Jukebox had made up her mind. Because again, once somebody tells you that they didn't do something, if you have decided that they did, there's really nothing they can say at that point. All they can say is, okay. So when Marvin told you, I would know, and I'm telling you, she didn't do it. And you still like, you've already made up your mind. And there's really nothing anybody can tell you different. So now you've made up your mind about Rock. Even though you keep saying that you're not sure, you've made up your mind about Rock, right? And I love the fact that even though this was after him and Rock had that nasty argument, he didn't throw her under the bus. He didn't put it out there and be like, well, fuck that bitch, Because again, they've argued like that before. So I don't think in his mind he thinks anything of it. He's like, we argue, we'll get over it. That's what we do. I really think in his mind that's where he is with it. Like, we'll argue. It is what it is. Then we see Unique meeting up with Russo, and that's when we find out that Stefano is not dead. And Russo was like, "Look, I don't really care what you do because it probably don't matter. I'm probably a dead man walking anyway. I took a big swing and I missed. So he tells Unique, do whatever you feel like you need to do. Do what you need to do. And then we see Rock talking to Lou and basically saying, look, Stefano, it's touch and go. They don't know if he's gonna live or die. But basically, she knows all hell about to break loose. Like, she knows that if somebody tried to take Stefano out, and Stefano she already know whatever protection she thought she had by being in bed with Stefano is gone. Like, if somebody's trying to take Stefano out, it's a wrap. So she tells Lou, do what you got to do. So Lou goes and he kidnaps Pranessa and the baby. Unique is getting all his troops together. Child, he done got Molotov cocktails and everything else. And they blow up Stefano's fish spot. They blow up the Chinese restaurants. And the war is on. And that's when we see Marvin get ambushed. Y'all, I'm going to say this and I'm going to keep saying this. And listen, let's be clear. I love Marvin as much as the next person. But in the lifespan of a show, especially shows like this, at some point, a main character got to go. They never had a problem doing it in Power before. So why is Marvin still here? Baby, Marvin is supposed to be gone. Marvin was supposed to be shot. At the very least, leave it a cliffhanger. At the very least, let Marvin get shot, and then we don't know, and we just leave off with, because y'all left everything else a cliffhanger. Let that be a cliffhanger that we don't even know if Marvin is alive or dead. But honestly, y'all, Marvin's supposed to be gone. Like, his character has run its course. There's nothing left for Marvin to give us. He is out of control. There's no rhyme or reason. He just killed just to be killing. And the fact that he done killed all these people and the police ain't even sniffing in his direction at this point. He was already on the radar, which tells me that it shouldn't have took that much longer. But whatever. Then we see Jukebox and Kanan. Kanan has decided that he's going after Rock because he is convinced that because Jukebox told Kanan what the police officer said about it being a black woman. So of course, Rock's the only black woman in the state. And it couldn't have been anybody else. And it couldn't have been another black woman coming in that building for any other reason. Like, was it an abandoned building? Like, what was it that made it unusual for a black woman to be walking out of a building in the middle of the hood? I don't know. But neither here nor there. Come to find out, that's the last straw for Kanan. And Jukebox tries to stop Kanan, and Kanan pulls. He doesn't really pull the gun on her, but he positions the gun close enough that it's aimed at her, and he tells her, he was like, either you with me or you against me. Either you're with me or you're against me. And the look on Jukebox face is like, whoa, like what? Like for real? Like this is where we at now? And Kanan takes off. Jukebox automatically calls somebody. Let me be honest with y'all. I know there been, because I've been trying to stay away from the spoilers, but I've seen a couple of the titles, and a couple of the titles are talking about, did Kanan kill Rock? No, Kanan did not kill Rock. Let me tell y'all. Rock knew Kanan was coming. Rock was waiting for Kanan because Jukebox had already told Rock what was happening. Now, why Rock had her back to him, I don't know. But Rock has security. Like, especially, she knows they're in the middle of the war. You mean to tell me that Kanan got past security without being alerted? Her security know that her and Kanan ain't in a good space. Kanan don't get to just walk up in the house like that no more. Or at least he shouldn't. I do not believe for 1 second that Rock did not know Kanan was on his way. I do not believe for 1 second that Rock did not know Kanan was, when he walked in the door, while he was there. So either she got somebody waiting to take him to, we know he doesn't get killed. We know that. But I know that the season ended with them having their showdown and the screen going black, and then all we hear is a gunshot. I just don't think I don't think he killed her. I just don't. I don't think Rock died. I don't think now, do I think maybe he shot at Rock? Maybe. But more than likely, I believe that, I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened. And I mean, we won't know until next year if I'm right or wrong. But I'm going to tell y'all what I think happened. The way that Rock was standing in front of that window like that, and I felt like I heard something, but it could just be me. I honestly feel like Kanan ended up shooting. I feel like it was somebody behind her coming up. And I feel like Kanan shot. Somebody was coming up. I do not think Kanan shot Rock. And I damn sure don't think he killed her. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I mean, maybe Rock has served her time and they don't need her next season. But that wouldn't make sense to me. For them to take Rock out wouldn't make sense to me. Especially not for the final season. That wouldn't make sense to me. Taking out Marvin made sense. Taking out Rock didn't make sense. I do not believe. Yeah, I think so too. I think it was somebody behind, because the whole time they were sitting there, I was like, why is she standing in front of that open window? Like, she knows they're at war right now. Why is she standing in front of that open window? But then I had to think, who could possibly be walking up on Rock that he would stop from shooting Rock? I mean, because if it's Unique, hell, he's in bed with Unique. So, I mean, I don't think it's you. So I don't know, but I do not think that Kanan did it. And the fact that Rock, son or no son, I do not think that Rock is just going to stand there and let that man, and let that man shoot her. I just don't believe that. I mean, I get it. He's your son and all of that. And I mean, I think she's out of fight. I do think that. I think she's out of fight. I think she's tired. She is tired of trying to convince Kanan that she loves him. I think she's tired of trying to convince Kanan that she's got his back, that she's looking out for him. That I believe. I believe she's tired. But I do not believe. That she just gave up like that. That I don't believe. I don't believe that. Howard said Kanan couldn't shoot. Rock is alive. Don't believe the hype by public. Yeah, Rock's not dead. I don't believe Rock's dead either. Howard said, I just read that. I think so too. He shot behind her. Yeah, taking Rock out in the final season makes no sense. If Rock is taken out, I expect episode 9. Yeah, right. Now, I could see her dying like Monet at the end. Because I've always believed that his mother was dead. Even though I know, like, when everybody keeps bringing up when he got out of jail, he was like, I got to go visit my mother. I always thought he meant the cemetery. I never thought he meant I got to go. Like, I always thought it was the cemetery. That's what I always thought. Which, again, for all the people that hold on to that thought of I got to go visit my mother, that means that at some point they made peace. In my mind, at some point, that means that I feel like they made peace. Not saying they became like we saw them in season 1, but I feel like in season 5, I feel like we're going to see the full circle moment where he's going to realize that Rock isn't the monster that he thought she was. I don't know what's going to happen next season, but I really do. Now, I think that Rock is either dead or in North Carolina with Symphonique. Now, I know y'all about to be like, what? North Carolina with Symphonique? But I'm telling you, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's what people think it is. Rock could have had a flashback of young Joyce and Rock when Rock got her first heavenly baby operation. I think it's hard to think Rock is dead because we love her. That's true too, JB. That's true. And again, she may not be dead, but that's how I always felt. Like I always thought that he was saying he was visiting her like at the cemetery. And I know some people said jail. He wouldn't have been, I mean, I know I'm being too technical, but he wouldn't have been able to go into no jail and go visit her. He not on her visitors list. Like, contrary to popular belief, that ain't how it works. You don't get to just show up and go visit somebody in jail. Like, there's a process. You don't, especially him just getting out of a felony. You don't out of jail you don't get to just walk into no prison and be like, I want to visit my mama. That is not how that works. So it had to be, if he was visiting her, I was thinking cemetery. Rock could be in a psych ward. I don't think so. But we don't know. We don't know. But anyway, y'all, that is the final season. I mean, the final episode of season 4. We have one final season, which is season 5, which I'm sure it'll probably be here around the same time this year, early 2026. Next up, I think is BMF. I don't review BMF. So I'm not sure who else is. I'm not sure if Shade in the City is going to do BMF, but I don't do BMF. And then it's Force, which I guess I'm going to be forced to review Force. I will definitely be doing Origins. Kane did visit Effie. But that was different. Kanan wasn't a convicted felon that had just got out of a long 20-year prison sentence. Like, that wasn't the same thing. And Effie wasn't in jail. I mean, Effie wasn't in prison. Effie was in jail. And they were trying to use that against, like, there was so many different layers to that. That's not the same as what I'm saying. Didn't Kane pretend to be her lawyer, though? Like, he pretended to be her lawyer. He didn't walk in there as Kane. He walked in there as her attorney. So that's different too. That's not the same. All right, y'all. So today we're doing Chasing Dallas. Myself, Abby, and El Teddy are doing Chasing Dallas at 6:00. And then, of course, at 9:30-ish, we have not Love and Marriage, nothing. Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we're going to talk about the Portia Shamia situation. We're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to try to get a Beyond the Gates in between now and then if I have time. I'm going to try to get a Beyond the Gates. I know JB just did his. So y'all go check out my boo, JB. And then, of course, Monday night is the Whether You Like It or Not panel. We will be... Shit, it's my turn. I'm sitting there like, who's doing it this week? Shit, it's my turn. So it'll be on my channel. It'll be right here Monday night. I don't review The Chi. I have never even watched The Chi. Like, I watched like the first 4 episodes of The Chi. I haven't watched it since. That's one of the shows I do want to go back and watch, though, because I heard it's really good. So, but no, I don't review The Chi. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. Mwah. Talk to y'all later. Peace.